I've been a mechanic for 38 years, worked on everything from farm trucks to fleet vehicles across 3 different states. And in those 38 years, I've seen a lot of people get burned. But nothing burns people quite like the certified pre-owned scam. Nothing. Let me be straight with you right now. The words certified pre-owned on a windshield sticker mean a lot less than you think. They mean a lot less than the dealership wants you to believe. And by the time this video is over, you're going to understand exactly why. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to save you money. Potentially a lot of it. Let's start at the beginning. When you walk onto a used truck lot and see that CPO badge, what do you picture? Most people picture a team of trained technicians. They picture a thorough inspection. They picture somebody crawling under that truck with a flashlight, checking the frame, checking the transmission, verifying that every system works the way it should. That's what the marketing wants you to picture. Slick brochures, confident salespeople, the word certified doing all the heavy lifting. But here's the first problem, and it's a big one. The same dealership that's trying to sell you that truck is also the one that certified it. Think about that for a second. They have a financial incentive to put that CPO sticker on every truck they can. More stickers mean higher prices. Higher prices mean bigger profits. There is no independent third party standing between you and that conflict of interest. A true certification would involve an objective inspection by someone with no skin in the game. What you actually get is a service department that answers to the same general manager as the sales floor. They are on the same team. And that team wants to move trucks, not fail trucks. Now, I'm not saying every dealership is crooked. I'm saying the structure itself is compromised. Even a well-meaning service tech is working under time pressure. They've got a quota of vehicles to inspect. They've got flagged hours they're allowed to bill for each inspection. They are not going to spend 4 hours underneath your truck on a standard CPO inspection. They don't have time. So what does a CPO inspection actually cover? Every manufacturer has their own checklist. Ford calls theirs one thing. Chevy calls theirs something else. Ram has their own version. But in general, these inspections check the basics. They start the engine, check for obvious smoke, do a fluid check, look at brake pad thickness, check the tires for obvious wear, scan for active fault codes with a diagnostic tool. That last one is sneaky. They scan for active fault codes, not pending codes, not historical codes, active ones. If a problem threw a code 2 months ago and cleared itself, it might not show up in a quick scan. But that problem is still there. It's just waiting. What they typically don't do is pressure test the cooling system. They don't drop the transmission pan and look at the fluid color. They don't put the truck on a lift and spend serious time checking the frame for rust, cracks, or previous collision repair. They don't inspect the undercarriage for signs of flood damage. They don't pull the spark plugs to check combustion health. They don't do a compression test. A real mechanic doing a real pre-purchase inspection does all of that. All of it. And that's exactly why an independent inspection is worth so much more than any CPO sticker. Here's another thing they don't tell you. The CPO checklist varies by brand, but most of them allow the dealership to certify a truck and then note that certain items need attention at the owner's convenience. That means they found something. They wrote it down. They still certified the truck, and they're leaving it for you to deal with. I've had customers come into my shop 6 weeks after buying a certified truck. They thought they were protected. They weren't. One guy bought a CPO Ram 1500 at a Texas dealership. Good-looking truck, 3 years old, cleanish Carfax, CPO sticker right there on the window. Paid about $3,200 more than a comparable non-CPO truck at the same dealer. 3 months later, the transfer case starts making noise. He brings it to me. We pull it. The fluid inside that transfer case was black, not dark, black. That truck had not had a fluid service in a long time. The metal particles floating in that fluid told me everything. The dealership's CPO inspection either didn't check that or checked it and passed it anyway. Either way, my customer paid a premium price for a problem they didn't know they were buying. That transfer case cost him $2,800 to rebuild. On a truck he paid extra for because it was certified. That story is not unusual. It's the norm. I hear versions of it every single month. Let's talk about the price premium, because this is where the real damage happens financially. CPO trucks from major manufacturers typically sell for $2,000 to $5,000 more than a comparable non-CPO truck with the same mileage, same year, same trim level. That's not a small number. Dealers justify this by pointing to the warranty. The CPO warranty, they'll tell you, covers you. It gives you peace of mind. It's protection. But when you actually read the warranty documents, and I mean really read them, the exclusions are extensive. Most CPO warranties are powertrain focused. They cover the engine block, the transmission internals, a few major drivetrain components. What they often don't cover is the suspension, the electronics, the HVAC system, the fuel system components, the AC compressor, the infotainment system, the sensors, and a long list of other parts that can and do fail on used trucks. And here's the kicker. Even for the things that are covered, you have to bring the truck back to an authorized dealer for the repair. You can't take it to your local mechanic you've trusted for 10 years. If you do, you may void the warranty coverage. So now you're not just paying a premium, you're also locked into their service department, where labor rates are typically 30 to 50% higher than an independent shop. The CPO warranty is designed to sound comprehensive. It is not comprehensive. It is a carefully written document with enough exclusions to protect the dealer in almost every common failure scenario. Compare that to what $150 gets you. A real, independent pre-purchase inspection by a trusted mechanic. That's the going rate in most of the country. Some guys charge $100, some charge $175. But in that range, a thorough independent inspector is going to do things the dealership never will. They're going to put the truck on a lift and spend time underneath it. They're going to look at the frame carefully, especially on trucks that might have seen off-road use or winter roads with salt. Frame rust is a silent killer on used trucks, and it will not show up on a Carfax. They're going to look at every fluid and not just check the level, but assess the condition. They're going to check the cooling system. They're going to look at the brake lines. A good independent inspector will also look for signs of repainted panels, mismatched bolts, and other signs of previous collision repair that didn't get reported. Carfax misses a lot. Insurance claims under a certain dollar amount often don't get reported at all. A mechanic looking at the physical truck will catch things a database report never will. That $150 inspection has saved people from $4,000, $8,000, even $15,000 mistakes. I've seen it. I've been the mechanic doing the inspection and telling someone not to buy that truck, and every time they thank me for it, because they almost paid a lot of money for someone else's problem. Now let's talk about what dealerships will say when you bring this up. And you should bring it up. You should absolutely ask a dealer, can I have an independent mechanic inspect this truck before I buy it? A legitimate dealer will say yes. They might be a little uncomfortable about it, but if they're confident in the truck, they'll let you do it. A dealer that gets defensive, that starts making up reasons why you can't, that tells you the CPO inspection is already thorough and you don't need another one. That dealer just told you something important. They told you there's something on that truck they don't want a real mechanic to find. Walk. If a dealer won't let an independent inspector look at the truck before you buy, just walk. There are other trucks, there are other dealers. A few hours of your time and $150 is a lot cheaper than learning the hard way. Here's something else I want to address, the Carfax. People treat a clean Carfax like it's a guarantee. It is not. Carfax reports data that gets reported to them. A lot of damage doesn't get reported. A truck that got rear-ended in a private parking lot and was repaired out of pocket will have a clean Carfax. A truck that had chronic mechanical issues that the previous owner fixed repeatedly at home will have a clean Carfax. A truck that flooded in 3 inches of water, got dried out, and got sold at auction will often have a clean Carfax. Flood damage is particularly nasty on trucks. The electronics in modern trucks are extensive. There are dozens of control modules spread throughout the vehicle. Water damage to those modules may not cause problems for months. Then one by one they start failing, and by then you're past any return window, you're stuck. A trained inspector looks for flood damage. They check under carpet edges. They look at the corrosion pattern on electrical connectors. They check the bottom edges of interior panels. These are physical signs that no database is going to capture. Let me also tell you something about the CPO mileage and age limits. Most manufacturers require a truck to be under a certain age and mileage to qualify for CPO status. The cutoffs vary. But what this means in practice is that dealerships have a strong incentive to run a truck through the CPO process, even if it barely qualifies. A truck that's right at the edge of qualification gets a CPO sticker, a higher price, and gets moved off the lot faster. That truck at 79,000 miles that barely made the cutoff, it got certified. The same truck at 82,000 miles wouldn't qualify. So the 79,000 mile truck gets the premium price and the buyer thinks they got something special. But the 82,000 mile version might actually be in better mechanical shape. Mileage alone is not the whole story. I want to talk about extended warranties for a minute too, because they're often bundled into the CPO conversation. When you're in the finance office and they're doing the paperwork on your CPO truck, they're going to offer you an extended warranty. They're going to present it as additional protection on top of the CPO warranty. Read those documents before you sign. Extended warranties, also called vehicle service contracts, are often not worth what you pay for them. They have their own exclusion lists, they have deductibles, they may require pre-authorization before repairs, and the monthly cost, when spread out over the term of the contract, can add up to real money. There are legitimate extended warranties out there, but they need to be evaluated individually with the full contract in hand, not pitched to you under time pressure in a finance office at the end of a long day. If you need time to read it, take time. A good deal will still be a good deal tomorrow. Now let me give you the actual framework you should use when buying a used truck, whether it's CPO or not. First, research the specific model and year for known issues. Every truck has its weak points. The 5.4 Triton has issues. Certain EcoBoost years have issues. The 6.0 Power Stroke is legendary for its problems. The 68 RFE transmission has a known history. Know what you're buying before you're standing on a lot. Second, get a vehicle history report. Carfax, AutoCheck, whatever you prefer. It's not perfect, but it gives you a baseline. Look for reported accidents, multiple owners, service history gaps, and whether the truck was used as a rental or fleet vehicle. Third, do your own visual inspection before you even bother with a mechanic. Check the panel gaps, look at the paint under different lighting, open every door and look at the door jambs. Get on the ground and look at the frame and undercarriage. If something looks off, trust your gut. Fourth, test drive it properly, not around the block. Take it on a real road. Accelerate hard, brake hard, turn sharply. Get it up to highway speed and feel for vibrations. Listen for noises. Does it pull to one side? Does the transmission shift smoothly and at the right points? Does anything feel loose or hesitant? Fifth, and this is non-negotiable, get an independent pre-purchase inspection. Find a shop that does them. A lot of dealerships will let you drive the truck to a shop yourself. Others will allow a mobile mechanic to come to the lot. Pay the $150, get the written report. Make your decision based on real information. If the inspection comes back clean, you can buy with real confidence. Not the manufactured confidence of a CPO sticker, but the actual confidence that comes from knowing a qualified independent mechanic looked at that truck and didn't find anything to worry about. And if the inspection finds something, now you have leverage. You go back to the dealer with a written report from a licensed mechanic. You either negotiate the price down to account for the repair costs, or you ask them to fix the issues before purchase, or you walk. All three are legitimate outcomes. The CPO premium you were going to pay, use that money for the inspection, and if the truck passes, keep the rest. Or negotiate the non-CPO truck's price down further using the inspection report as evidence. Either way, you come out ahead. I know some of you are going to say, but Wade, some CPO programs are better than others. Toyota's CPO program is different from a small used car lot calling something certified. And you're right, there's a difference. Manufacturer-backed CPO programs from Toyota, Honda, and a few others tend to be more rigorous than Brand X dealership's in-house certification program. But even the better manufacturer programs have the same structural conflict of interest I described. They're still inspected by dealer technicians. They still have warranty exclusions. They still charge a premium. The fundamental problem doesn't disappear just because the manufacturer's name is on the program. My position is simple. An independent inspection is always worth doing, on every used truck, regardless of whether it's CPO or not. The cost is trivial compared to the risk you're managing. and the confidence you get from an honest assessment by someone who has zero financial interest in the sale is worth more than any sticker on any windshield. I've watched people spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a used truck based on a CPO sticker and a clean Carfax. And then I've watched some of those same people come into my shop with problems that should have been caught before purchase, problems that cost them real money, problems that left them angry and feeling taken advantage of. Those people trusted a system that was not designed to protect them. The CPO system is designed to move trucks at a premium price. That is its primary function. Buyer protection is secondary at best. You deserve real information before you make a decision that big. A $150 inspection is real information. A CPO sticker is marketing. The choice is yours, but now you know what you're actually choosing between. Don't let a badge on a windshield do your thinking for you. Get the inspection. Know what you're buying. Protect yourself. That's all I've got today. If this saved you even a couple $100, share it with somebody else who needs to hear it. There are a lot of people about to walk onto a lot and trust that sticker. They don't have to. Take care of yourselves, and take care of your trucks. Let me add one more thing before you go, because I want to talk about the salespeople themselves for a minute. Most of them aren't evil people. Most of them genuinely believe the CPO pitch they're giving you. They were trained to say it. They hear it repeated every day. They see customers walk away happy, at least initially. By the time that customer finds out they've got a problem, that salesperson is long gone from the equation. The system is built to distance the seller from the consequences. The sale happens on Monday. The problem shows up in 3 months. By then, the salesperson has hit their quota and moved on. The finance manager has processed dozens more deals. Nobody from that transaction is sitting around waiting to hear how your truck is doing. That's not an accident. That's how the business is structured. The goal is to complete the transaction and move on. Your long-term satisfaction, beyond the return window and any coverage that might apply, is not part of the daily calculation. Understanding that should change how you approach the transaction. You are the only person in that room who is fully on your side. The salesperson has their commission. The finance manager has their product add-ons. The dealership has its margin. Everyone at that table has a financial interest except you. Act accordingly. Ask hard questions. Ask what specifically the CPO inspection covered. Ask to see the actual inspection checklist they completed. Ask what, if anything, was noted as needing attention. Ask what the warranty specifically excludes. Ask what happens if you want a repair done at an independent shop. Ask all of it. A dealer that gets frustrated by questions is showing you something. A dealer that answers clearly and without hesitation is showing you something different. The reaction to your questions is information. Collect it. Here's one more practical tip I want to leave you with. When you're comparing CPO versus non-CPO trucks, run the real math. Take the CPO asking price. Subtract the non-CPO asking price on a comparable truck. That difference is what you're paying for the certification. Now compare it to the cost of an independent inspection, which is $100 to $150. The inspection gives you actual knowledge. The CPO premium gives you a sticker and a limited warranty with significant exclusions. In almost every scenario I can think of, the independent inspection is the smarter use of that money. If the inspection clears the non-CPO truck, you save thousands. If it finds problems, you avoided a bad purchase. Either outcome is a win. The CPO premium doesn't offer you that kind of win. It offers you a feeling, and feelings don't fix transfer cases. One last story. A few years back, a woman came into my shop, retired teacher, bought a CPO truck because she didn't know anything about trucks and figured the certification was the safe choice. Paid a premium she could feel in her budget. 18 months later, the AC compressor fails, not covered under the CPO warranty. She calls the dealership. They quote her $1,400 for the repair. She comes to me instead. I do it for less. But she's still out money she didn't expect to spend on a truck she bought specifically to avoid surprises. She asked me what she should have done differently. I told her what I'm telling you right now. The inspection. Always the inspection. And read the warranty before you sign, not after you have a problem. She wasn't happy hearing it at that point, but she was glad to know for next time. That's the best I can do once the deal is already done. You've still got time to do it differently. You haven't signed anything yet. Use that advantage. Get the inspection, read the warranty, ask the hard questions, and don't let a badge on a windshield be the reason you make a $30,000 decision. I've been doing this for 38 years. I've seen what happens when people skip that step. I've also seen the relief on someone's face when an inspection finds a problem before they owned it. That relief is cheap. It costs $150. Take it every time.